Well, hey, everybody, welcome.
Hey, everybody, welcome.
Welcome to the Accidental Swingers podcast.
Episode 58.
Episode 58. Here we are.
Here we are.
Yep. So it's been a while since we've been able to get our act together.
It has been a while.
And do one of these, or one of our true cornerstone podcast story episodes.
Our true old school OG story episodes from the archives.
Yeah.
with actual raw audio going back a while.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long while.
We have been waiting a long time for this one.
It's been in the can for quite some time, but we just hadn't been able to get to this part yet.
So
here we are.
The intro and the discussion part.
Yes. So here we are.
Here we are.
But we wanted to quickly, because it has been a while, talk about, in case you haven't listened to our podcast before, or you haven't seen us before on YouTube, or you haven't gone back and listened to any of the older episodes, what was our podcast based on?
Our podcast was based upon our personal recordings. When Myrina and I first got in the lifestyle, we realized that something very momentous was happening for us individually, but also as a couple, and that something really important was happening in our relationship. And so we wanted to make sure that we remembered what we were doing and had discussions about what we were doing constantly. And so at some point I thought, you know what, let's record these discussions so that we have them for our own archival purposes. I'm kind of a historian, and I like to be able to, go back and revisit things in great detail, as evidenced by my outlines and my notes in my phone and everything that I'm constantly kind of archiving. And I got the idea from a podcast called Swinger Diaries that is no longer available, that I don't think you can find anywhere, but they would do like this dear diary of their lifestyle experiences. And so I said, well, let's do that for us, just for us. And so that's what we did. And that's what we started. And so the result of that is just scores and scores of hours of us just talking to each other in our car. Or on the way back from a party, from a date, from an event, from wherever, or
sometimes heading to it.
Yeah, a lot of times too. And so when COVID started, we realized, actually we had started planning this before COVID started, but we realized that we have this like gold mine of really raw and really personal information and really personal recordings with us that might be a good scaffolding and backbone for a podcast if we clean it up a little bit.
Right.
Which is what we have done for the prior episodes, and what we're going to do for this episode as well.
So we took that raw audio to be able to share how we listened and thought we were prepared for all of the mistakes and things that you might make in the lifestyle when you're first starting out, and we screwed a lot of it up. And those recordings are our real-time raw debriefing and tearing apart what happened, what went wrong, what went well, what we liked, what we didn't like. And then you're kind of in the car with us when you're listening to those stories. So you get to hear it, and it can be pretty raw.
Yeah.
It can be super fun. It can be uncomfortable. But we really thought it was important to be able to show, because everybody's going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how well prepared you are for being in the lifestyle, how much you think things won't rattle you, how much you think it's going to be smooth sailing. It's not. Something will happen and mistakes will be made. And most of the time, it's not out of spite.
It's never out of spite.
On purpose, or to hurt somebody, or out of malice.
It's typically because I was dumb, or I followed my deck. Usually one of those two things.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So we talk about those things, and we dissect them, and we talk about how we handled the emotions before, during, and after, and we share that with everybody. And the theory is not that you would then listen to this and go, oh, we are not going to have these problems either, or, oh, we're going to handle this just like Myrina and Tristan did because they handled it fine at the end. The idea is so that you know that the problems are going to happen, and that maybe you can stop and say, I do remember when Myrina and Tristan went through something like this. Let's listen to that, or let's talk about that. Or maybe it helps you frame what you need to talk to with your partner about. So,
and another very important piece of this is when we go back and listen to audio like tonight, which is, a few years old, we're listening to it within the context of our greater lifestyle experience now. And so we're able to give our perspective going back. And so when we go into this raw audio, for example, you and I are going to be taking notes, and we're going to be, thinking about, wow, how is that for us now? So, and that's what we do on all of our episodes. But, it's a great perspective for us now as more seasoned lifestyle veterans, I would say, to be able to say, oh, yeah, well, no wonder that went poorly. But
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a great perspective that we can share with everybody.
Right. And any of our story episodes are like this.
Exactly.
Yeah. We do some interviews. We have some interview episodes and a lot of traveling episodes lately and things like that. But these are our story episodes, and this is where we started. And so we wanted to continue on with these. We still have quite a few more to go to share, and stories that are important and relevant and even current, today and things that are happening today or moving forward. So anyway, so we're very excited to share this with you, but we wanted to kind of explain to everybody in case you haven't heard from us in a while, or in case you haven't heard our earlier episodes, that is what they not entangle. That is what they entail. That's the word I was looking for. Yes.
There might be some entanglements as well.
There is actually a lot in this episode. There's a lot of entanglement, and we're going to get to that. So let's just talk about it. Let's just go straight into talking about what this particular episode is about.
Absolutely. So this was our very first house party that we ever went to. And
big house party.
It was a very big house party, and it was too big, actually, in hindsight. Now that we know better, Well, no, actually, for us now, it would be too big. It was packed. It was a 2-level house, I think 3 or 4 bedrooms, and it was just wall to wall people. Way too many people for a house party, at least in our estimation now.
I think when we talked to them afterwards, it was over 100 people in their house,
and they agreed that there were too many people.
It got a little large.
Yeah, it was very large. So at times it was a little not unruly, but just difficult to maneuver, difficult to manage, difficult to find bed space, just you name it. And there were just too many people there. So that was our introduction, and it was so overwhelming for us that and I think we talk about this in the raw audio, we were really going to bail. Right. And we wanted to leave, and we were looking for other options. You were texting with somebody, which will come up in the raw audio. Luckily, we didn't. We went ahead and said, all right, well, let's at least go upstairs and see what's going on. So what this was
go ahead. Sorry.
So this was what was billed as a greedy girl party, meaning for women who like to have more than one man simultaneously. And so in this particular party, we talk about the ratio a little bit in the raw audio, but I mean, there were probably 15 or 20 more men. So when you count for couples and then single guys, the ratio was, I don't know, like maybe 3 to 2 men to women. I'm not sure. It wasn't like double, but
you don't think so?
I'm not sure.
I felt like it was a lot. I felt like there was, like, if there were, and again, it you just don't know because you can't.
Yeah.
We will never know the numbers. It seemed like there were twice as much men as there were women. And so I felt like it was 2 to 1. Like, I felt like if there were 30 couples, there might have been 30 extra single guys.
In the upstairs area, that probably is more than true, because a lot of the women didn't even come upstairs. They just kind of hung out downstairs and talked to one another. And so
it was So I don't want to go into it too much because we'll talk about it more when we come out, but I do want to say that in this one, because I'm not sure if we really, and we might, because we're going to listen to the audio when it comes on for you guys too right now as well. But I think we didn't say as clearly, but we were really leaving. We were on our way out the door. Walking out the door to leave. We had gone out on the back patio. I had talked to a couple of gentlemen, one in particular. He does show up in the story. But I had talked to a couple of people, but it wasn't, I was very uncomfortable. It was overwhelming, and we'd gone out onto the back porch just to kind of have a moment together to talk.
And to get cell service also.
Yeah, that's right, to get cell service, because we were trying to plan a backup date. I think we do talk about it. So that, to explain it a little bit, we were just not comfortable there, and we had a friend that lived not too far away, and our idea was that if he was home, let's go have a 3-way with him, because we enjoyed playing with him a lot.
So we could salvage the night.
Yeah, so we could salvage the night. So we were literally getting ready to walk out the door, and I think I said, we should just go upstairs to see what it's like, and then we'll leave. So at least we can say we saw it, and then we could talk about it educatedly, like what we saw, and then we could leave because we weren't interested.
Right.
But I say, let's play the audio. Okay, let's play it.
It's a little after 1, and we're leaving our first house party, which was packed.
It was pretty crowded.
It was packed.
It was pretty crowded.
Well, the guest list had like over 100 people.
I don't think there was over 100.
I don't think there
people
were,
no.
but it was packed.
It was a very eclectic mix. So it was called the Greedy Girl Party.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it was supposed to be there's more men than women.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, maybe 10 extra guys that weren't attached?
I guess.
Maybe 15?
Yeah, I don't know.
So all couples and then maybe like 15 guys?
Yeah, 15, maybe 20, I don't know.
So that's what it was, and that's what it was supposed to be. What'd you think?
Well, at first, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought so.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So, I mean, at first it was...
I kind of feel like it could be like a preview to New Orleans. I'm not so sure that I mean, it was hot.
Yeah.
It ended up being really hot.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure I was crazy about it.
Okay. You seemed like you were enjoying it while it was going on.
So, all right, let's talk about it.
Okay.
So we get there, and there's 50% people here. They're older than us, and the other 50% are younger than us. I mean, it was really a mix of, there were older people there.
Right.
And then little young, whatever the hell her name was there. And it was weird. Their dynamic was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. But I'm just not into that. I'm not into that. He was dominant. She was submissive and whatever. And I don't like that. I'm like, stand up for yourself and say no. But whatever. So it was different. And then, so in the meantime, while this party was going on and we were kind of like not sure.
Yeah.
About how it was going to be.
It was loud, and
then groups of people went upstairs, and then they came downstairs, and like all the men are then not wearing their shirts, so it's kind of like the sign that I went upstairs and f***ed because now I don't have a shirt on, and so I was like, oh really? Whatever. The pot collar, the kettle black, apparently, but whatever. They just lost their shirts. I lost a bra. But anyway, so had texted about. He was at the treehouse, and so I was ready to get, like, if he had said while we were standing on the porch, if he had said, I'm bailing.
Yeah.
Can you meet me at my house in 20 minutes or 30 minutes? I would have been like, yes. Yeah. Absolutely. 1,000,000%. So we were standing on the porch trying to get signal, and that's when we started talking to super nice guy.
Very funny.
Younger guy. And so we went inside with him. And then, how did we run into... he was upstairs.
Yeah.
So had been downstairs talking to us earlier. He's a good-looking older guy. So I liked him, like, kind of right off the bat. Yeah. Apparently, I have a thing for men who are a little bit older, which, surprise, I've always had a thing for men that are a little bit older. But he'd been talking to us earlier, and I couldn't figure out who he was with. And so when we went upstairs to just check out, so we said, let's go upstairs and check out and see what people are doing, which would meant they were having sex. So we went upstairs, and the bedrooms are, there's 3 bedrooms or whatever upstairs and a landing, and they had a bed on the landing and whatnot. So I don't even remember what was going on in the other bedrooms.
I don't think we even saw.
I don't think we did. It was crowded.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't really see in.
Right.
So we went into the master bedroom where there was room to stand.
Yeah.
And so we stood there with...
And there were like 3 couples fucking on the bed.
Yeah. And then a whole bunch of people watching. So we were standing there and was in there?
Yeah, then that came in.
So came in.
And he was,
I said something smart ass to him, and I can't remember what it was. Something.
Yeah, well, because he was naked. He came up.
Oh, that's right. He was naked.
Yes.
That's right. And
he came
I
up
said,
to you naked.
That's right. And I said something to him about losing all his clothes. So, I don't know. He started kissing me or whatever. And then I was feeling him up, and he was getting hard, and then he slid his hand up my skirt and into my panties and fingered me, and I came standing there, which was
all over the floor.
All over the floor. I ran down I'd come running down my legs. So he did it again. So it happened again. Oh, and you were fondling me and feeling my ass, and because he and I were making out while he did that. right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So,
I was kissing your neck and
yes,
your
and
ass
feeling my ass and whatever. It was slightly exciting, and I got slightly turned on, which is why I came standing up.
Well,
Right
meanwhile,
there.
there's 3 couples fucking on the bed 4 feet away, and
yeah,
loud.
and so and you can hear them,
hot.
and there's all these people, and it was
Guys are
pretty
with their out and,
primal.
Yeah.
But it was safe. It wasn't like, but it was weird. But it was safe.
Yeah. Well, because it was contained. It wasn't
right, because everybody had been there for a long time and whatnot.
And it was they were selected. I mean, it was you had to ask to come, and it was it was a selected group.
Right. So, what happened next? So I'm wired.
Yeah. So I heard
down.
you say something like, are you gonna f me now? Or
I did not.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I heard the word.
I probably just said
No. Yeah.
like fuck.
No.
Like fuck. I can't believe I stood here and you made me with your fingers. Fuck.
So anyway, some bed space opened up.
So you're gonna turn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you know who pointed that out?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So you better grab that bed while you can.
Yeah, pretending like he didn't know us.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he was there with his
girlfriend. Yeah.
He calls her lady friend.
Yes. Anyway, so we went over to the bed.
So he's in the room checking everything out, and he saw us in the corner and said, and he said, there's some bed space, better go grab it. So we did.
So you were sucking his dick, and I was going down on you.
Yeah.
And you. And
yeah. Like a bajillion times.
Yeah.
I came like a bajillion times.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
It's hot.
Yeah. Soaked through. Luckily, we put down a towel, but.
Yeah. Well, and they did have plastic on it.
Yeah.
It apparently he couldn't.
No.
Yeah, he couldn't stay hard.
He would get hard, and then and then
so I could tell that there was no way he was going to.
Yeah, he almost did. When he said something about switching places, and then that's when somebody else stepped in.
Okay.
So what happened was, which was really, really weird, was...
Well,
So you were f***ing me, and I was sucking, and then you guys said, let's switch. So got off the bed to come around the other side. Well, in the meantime, somebody that was standing behind you, I don't know if that was...
Standing behind because I was f***ing you.
I thought he was standing behind you. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he was... I don't know where he was. But anyways...
No, it wasn't. It was the first one was kind of like a kind of short, muscular. I thought it was...
Was that...
No, it wasn't. I thought it was.
Did ever even me?
I don't know.
That he
I don't
did.
think so. It was a...
I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, bald-headed guy.
Yeah, bald-headed guy. But it wasn't... No, I thought it was until at the end, the guy introduced himself as like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't...
it wasn't...
Yeah.
So
anyway,
I don't know who that was.
whatever. So someone aced out is
Yeah.
what happened. By accident. I don't think it was, he wasn't trying to... So was like getting ready to come around to that side, and this dude stepped in, and I didn't say no.
You didn't say no.
I didn't say no.
And I figured I'm just gonna let I'm like, you can.
Well,
it's you.
So it was really hot, and there was a whole bunch of people there, and they were f***ing, and there were men with their dicks out, and it was really hot. It wasn't creepy like it was.
Right. Well, and they were all good-looking men, and they're all.
I mean, it was interesting. It was interesting.
No,
like the younger guy,
they were a selected group. I mean,
but like there was the hefty.
Oh yeah,
he's hefty, and the other guy is hefty, and I mean, whatever.
But yeah, so like
the old dude had the biggest fucking cock. Like I thought. You know who I'm talking about? I don't even know his name. The one that f***ed me, like.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
old guy.
Yeah, he wasn't that old.
Well, older, like our age,
yeah.
like gray beard.
Yeah. No, he f***ed you the best, I thought.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Not only that, but I mean, his was huge.
Yeah,
he was huge. He was huge. But anyways, okay, so.
Well, the first one was the guy who tried. Remember?
Oh, that was. No.
Oh, he tried.
I think it was.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was another bald guy. No, because succeeded in.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he f***ed you really well.
Yeah,
he was the last one.
Yeah, he did.
Well, I was the last one, actually.
Yeah, was good.
And,
so it.
No, there was another bald guy.
Okay, I thought that was.
No, it was somebody else.
Cause.
And he tried. And did he get it in you?
No,
Yeah, because he
went
lost.
soft.
Yeah, he lost it right
went
away.
soft.
And
he said,
that.
I went soft. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was the first attempt.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, so I don't know how many different men. So, anyways, it turned into
like
this.
5 different men.
It turned into this fest, and
like another, like while one was you, another one would come up.
Yeah, and I would cop, and it was actually pretty hot, and it was like
whenever the one would finish, then the other one would come around.
And I was all, and in the heat of the moment, I was really quite enjoying myself, and
you were everywhere.
Yes, yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah, yours like nonstop, and like when I would put my finger in you, I could barely get my finger in you. You were that engorged.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking hot.
Yeah,
it was hot as shit. So
like, and I was keeping count. I'm like, all right, so that guy is out. Yeah, but it was 5. I don't think it was 6. I'm pretty sure.
It felt like a lot more than that. But anyway, so, and then that's the first time, obviously, I've ever done anything like that. And it was pretty fucking hot.
Yeah, it was hot as shit.
It's hard to, like, get out of your brain where you're like, oh, you are such a whore for doing that. And my brain is saying you're a whore, but my head is like, no, you're a slut. And that's okay, because that's what, but that was fucking crazy as shit. And
it was super hot because of what was going on around us.
Yeah, and all these other people there having sex.
Yeah, and like on the floor, on the bed with us, standing up in the corner.
Oh yeah, I went down on while we were standing there. That's the other thing.
Oh, that's right.
I went down on him, and that. Yeah, then he, but he, was trying to jack off.
Yeah, and then people watching, and and I had trouble at first, because like I couldn't get hard at first. I was kind of freaked out, I'm like, oh, all these people are in here, and so I had trouble. But then once I got going, then I was really excited, and I did really well.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, were you freaked out because you're like, oh my god, all these people are fucking my wife?
Oh no, I was like,
oh my god, these people are watching me.
No,
fuck my wife,
yeah, none of that. It was people watching me. So I was a little self-conscious about it at first. And also being small, and all these guys are walking around with these fucking enormous baseball bats.
Not all of them is not big at all.
But then once I kind of got in the same way that once you got going, you kind of opened up a little bit. Same for me. Once I got going, I was like, okay, this is actually really fun and hot. And I was seeing you well, and you were coming, and it was great. And I was watching, so like, there were some women that were watching me fuck you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that was pretty hot. Like at the end when I was facing the bathroom. There's some women standing over by the bathroom watching me. Three women. Yeah, and that was hot. Because you're fun to watch and fun to listen to, and it's hot, and so it's entertaining for people who like, because you're so responsive and you're really good. So in a group like that, it's appreciated the way that you respond and everything.
Yeah.
So
all over everything.
Yeah.
Very unexpected, because I really was like, this was a recon mission. I wasn't sure how I was I really wasn't crazy about it. I'm not crazy about the cliquey women. They are all very cliquey. I don't like that.
Yeah, everything changed once we went upstairs and got naked and started.
Well, everything changed because we weren't with any women.
Yeah, I guess the only women were.
No, the only women
were
in the bed. Yeah, there were 2 on the bed getting, and all the other women were in the other rooms. The cliquey women. So, and it's interesting because I don't know who said it to me. Maybe I don't know. One of the many men that fucked me said something like, "You were quite popular," and I'm like, no, I was being all quiet and shy in the corner of the room. And he goes, well, maybe at first, but then you ended up being quite popular. And I was like, oh, all right. But it was with the men. They were all, the women did not come in to watch.
Right.
That's not what they were.
Yeah, because at one point there were probably like at least 15 men in the room.
It's all of a sudden like, it was like the pheromone signal went out, and all of a sudden I looked around and they're all like standing around watching. And then it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was hot as shit.
It was, and it was fun.
It was fun. And, I liked it a lot.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just bizarre.
No, it was definitely weird. But you know what? The first time when we met from Aldi's for pizza.
Yeah.
On our second meeting.
Yeah.
Just to meet him a little bit more.
Yeah.
When we left, we were in separate cars because I came from work, and you called me on the phone and said, that was so weird. This is weird. We just met a man basically just because he's going to f*** me. How weird is that?
It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
so
and then after he fucked me, I called you also because we were in separate cars.
Yeah, and you're like, that was weird.
That was weird.
Yeah, well, and you know what? And then it was. And so what we did tonight was weird.
Yeah.
But it was fun as shit and hot as shit. And I really liked it.
It was, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it a lot too. Yeah. But I really was not expecting it, and I really was not expecting to f*** anybody, and...
Yeah, and then including me, so you 6 men tonight, including me. And
sure did feel like a lot more than 6.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just 5.
Doesn't matter.
5 others.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all for you and your total.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that it was really hot, really fun, really sexy. It was just raw f***ing.
Mm-hmm. It was very... I heard somebody say, and maybe it was say something about very primal. Yeah, and it is very primal.
Which part was primal? That's
what we were doing.
The whole aspect,
no,
or me f***ing?
No, just all the f***ing. Yeah, just like a group of people f***ing.
Yeah.
And really, well, it wasn't a group of... It was a group of men f***ing women. Just a couple of women.
Yeah.
Like I said, at one point, you probably were 15, 20 men in the room, and you, girlfriend, and some other woman.
End.
So, 3 or 4 women and 15, 20 guys.
Yeah, and at the end, so then it was interesting because the whole dynamic shifted when they came in, when she came in, and I don't know if it was like a new meat dynamic or something like that, but I was just like, it shifted, so I got up. I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to sit here. So I forget even who helped me up. But yet she was like, something weird happened with her.
Yeah.
And she got up, went to the bathroom, and then he was like telling somebody, it was really funny because he's like saying to someone, she has a really short gag reflex, and he was right next to me. And I said, I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I turned my head and I stuck his in my mouth, and he was like, oh.
Yeah, I forgot that you sucked his too.
I did. Yeah, I sucked his. He had to stop.
Yeah. He had a huge too.
I don't know. I just shoved it down my throat.
Yeah, it was
he was like, oh, he was like, oh, and then he's like, oh, no, because he, I guess he was gonna, or whatever, but yeah, he made me stop. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't think so. That was just hot as shit.
Yeah, it was hot as shit. So, I mean, the moral of the story is I wasn't gonna do anything, and then we ended up doing a lot.
Yeah, and and I think had the dynamic not shifted, like when the new girls came in, I think you probably would have kept going.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I think you would have basically kept going.
Now, here's the piece I was going to tell you earlier. So what I didn't like about it was, again, I like connection. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted to be with because I had connected with him and chatted with him. And there was a couple guys, like, they didn't know me, they didn't talk to me, I don't even know who they were. And so they just walked up and started f***ing me. So there's no connection. They're not even looking at me. And, so I didn't really like that part as much. I mean, it was still hot.
You still came over and over and over again.
I did.
So your body said, I like this.
Yeah, but my brain is like, I want more connection. So it was interesting. So, okay. So with, I forget who it was, somebody, finally, one of them, and it was really interesting. So one of them actually bent down and kissed me a couple times. And I'm like, that was nice. And then the older guy, he was really watching me. He had a huge and holy, as a matter of fact, if he had pulled out and then touched me, I probably would have sprayed the entire room. So it was one of the, it was huge. And he was sweating. He was me hard and sweating all over my face, and he looked at me and he didn't break his eye contact with me, which I like.
And he was talking to you too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was like, holy, he's like, you're f***ing tight. And I said, do you like that? And he's like, yeah. I said, do you like my type? He's like, yeah. So that was kind of hot. I pulled a move on him because I always ask him if they like this type. I'm like, all right, I guess I can ask him that. But anyway, so that was what I didn't like about it. But so he looked at me and he kissed me a couple times, and we had a lot of eye contact, but then it was really interesting. So then when came in and he wanted to me, so he started to me, and he was much more wanting to kiss me and
that was
intimate, even though it was very...
I could tell, like, and you wrapped your legs around him, and
yes.
it just looked a lot more intimate. And watching it also, I think that he was putting on a show for her too. And she said, because when he got done, she said, I was watching you, baby, or something like that.
Yeah. And then that's when she came over to say something to him, like, I was watching you. And I said, were you watching him? And that's when I kind of reached up to her. And we kissed. Yeah, and he's like, hot. Yeah. But yeah, so that was like better. And he's so not my type, but it was nice. It was like this, even though he like all the women there, and he had a thing for the older women. Those were their friends that he wants to be with, but he sure wanted to fuck me. So yeah, so it was really interesting. So that was what I did not like about it. So I don't like it being pseudo anonymous. Like, it's either got to be, I don't know, maybe, I mean, at Caliente, the one time that we that couple, that was like hot as shit. We just didn't know. Well, you ended up talking to her, chatting. Well, her husband and I were, but just didn't know anything, and it was just like, I guess it's the primal piece. It was primal. That was primal, well, and
I mean, it's all
it was crazy. So so that was our night.
That was a great night
at the first house party we've ever been to.
I want to do it again.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
I think you want to do it again too.
Maybe.
Yeah, I do.
I think we'll do it at New Orleans. Yeah. All right.
Well, good night.
Good night.
Wow.
How was that?
That was really fucking hot.
I want to apologize first off for over talking you on every single instance. I think I was a little jacked up and a little, there's some adrenaline.
It's been, well, at that point it was 27 years. Now it's been 33 years. It's okay. I'm used to it.
Okay. So that's still okay?
Oh, it's still okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So sorry about that. The other thing we forgot to talk about was the fact that there were going to be a lot of names in this one. So I apologize for not giving you the heads up. There was going to be a lot of beeping. It's hard to take out a name and have it be a chunk. So I just beep it instead. And there were a lot of names being thrown around, but it's important to the story that you guys don't get that whole rhythm interrupted. And so we beep. So, but there was a lot of beeping. It was like, oh, then beep and a beep and beep, beep. And then she beep. And then, but yeah, so sorry about that.
So what I've learned from listening to our edited raw audio from past episodes and, some going forward, the more beeps there are, the better the time we had, because there's just a ton of people to beep out.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, probably because if we have just either it's like a couple or a single man or two couples or something, we don't say their names over and over again because you're only talking about that one person. But there was a lot going on in this episode. Yeah. So, yeah. So, a lot of beeping. And yes, and then I totally forgot that we talked about the fact that I guess on that night, I felt like there was only about 15 extra guys. In my memory, it is way more. I can't imagine that it was only 15 extra guys, but that's what I felt like leaving the party.
And I'm not certain, but certainly later in the evening when it was just you and like 3 or 4 other women, there were probably 15 or 20 guys. And so
I think it was more. So it had to be.
Yeah, there had to have been more. I don't know. Because, if you think about like all the couples, there was a guy there.
Right. Their husband, the partner.
Right. But a lot of them weren't playing with anybody. I mean, and that's the way that it goes at these parties a lot of times. The husbands just come to watch the wives. And so it often tends to be that it's the single guys that are the ones who are, who are doing the playing with
right.
In this case, the couple of wives that were receptive. But every party is different and every situation is going to be different.
And now that we're talking about this one, and we did talk about the women being downstairs or not upstairs. And so, that isn't necessarily everybody's jive. Other people were also not indulging at this particular time. I think it varies.
Right. But the other thing that it just occurs to me, but that's kind of the lifestyle. I mean, everybody's in it for a different reason. And so for a lot of people, it's the social aspect that you can, and you're right. And you talk about the cliquey women.
Maybe they were just all hanging out
they're just friends. Yeah, exactly. So with our perspective now, a couple years later, now we realize, well, it's not necessarily that they were cliquey.
Right.
It's just they're all friends, and they didn't care about going upstairs and fucking a bunch of guys.
They were chit-chatting
They
with each other.
like to get together. And so
I didn't know them, so I wasn't invited to join their conversation. So it wasn't like we were at Bridge Night, which apparently I wanted a crossover of Bridge Night and potluck, neighborhood potluck.
Coupled with a lot of fucking. Yeah, all right. Well,
I guess so. At the time.
I'm learning about this for the first time right now in real time.
I'm just processing it. But think about it. Yeah, probably.
Think of the opportunities for you to arrange bridge/potluck/parties.
I know, but we don't play bridge.
Yeah,
maybe we better
let's just restrict it to potluck and fucking then.
Okay,
that's what we do.
Well, we're gonna try and figure that out also. Right. So yeah. So another thing that I didn't realize that we said in here was that we were saying maybe this would be a preview to Naughty in New Orleans, and we had been before, but I think we were hoping that this, because we were going to be a little bit more seasoned and open, and I was going to be perhaps more receptive. And so I think that's what we were hoping to have an experience that was going to be something similar to what we might be able to find in New Orleans, or at least prepare ourselves for that. And again, we didn't think it was going to be that way when we were standing there getting ready to leave.
Right.
Yeah. We were getting ready to walk out the door. But as we said, it all changed.
It all changed when we went upstairs.
What I didn't mention in the raw audio, which I'm surprised, is that the gentleman that I had been talking to in the kitchen, that's the first person I met upstairs. And he was the one that was with no clothes on. And so I think what happened when I joked with him and said, "What happened to all your clothes?" Knowing full well what happened to all his clothes. And I didn't talk about, like, after the fingering, which I totally forgot about, like that. I don't do that very often.
No, you don't.
Where I come when you finger me. I mean, that, so obviously.
Without anything more.
Right. Yeah. Like that's a workup scenario. Yeah. We got to be 20, 30 minutes into things usually by then. Apparently not this particular night. So I'm guessing the energy and the sex vibes were pretty high, and the pheromones were all flowing, because I don't normally do that. Yeah. And to start off that way is pretty. I also was very attracted to him, and very much enjoyed kissing him. So I think that probably started it off as well. And at some point in time, which is where I'm surprised I didn't mention this, I dropped down and gave him a blowjob.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Was that before he started fingering me? It was after.
No, that was before he started fingering you.
Yeah, so that might have helped.
Yeah.
That might have helped those juices get started a little bit.
Yeah, he came up to you.
Yeah,
and he had no clothes, and you gave him that line like, "Well, apparently you lost all your clothes."
Poor baby.
I forget what he said, but then you basically dropped down and started sucking.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I can't remember. I can't believe I didn't mention that, because that was a pretty cool move on my part.
That's a great move.
That's a veteran season move that I even forget to do nowadays. It's like, what could I possibly do to move this forward? Oh, just drop down and start sucking his. After asking permission, of course, because that's important.
Yeah.
He said yes.
He said yes.
He said yes.
He said yes with his
hard dick.
Yeah, with his eyes and his hard dick.
His hard dick, and full on enthusiasm.
Yes, it was an enthusiastic yes.
Yeah. So that was totally bizarre, off the charts for me. For us, that was the first time we had done anything like that. And just walking upstairs, and we didn't talk about it as much in the raw audio either, but walking upstairs in each of the bedrooms, we talked a little bit. We went to the master bedroom because the other spaces were so full. We couldn't even get in, and we couldn't see. So again, the energy and the sex vibe and everything that's going on. And we even talked about it a couple times in that audio, was it being primal.
Yes.
That primal piece. And so that was a good word.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all that I can think of, and all that I could think of is just, this is primal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hot. Yeah, the sounds, the smells, the everything.
Yeah, just the energy.
Yeah.
I'm a big energy guy, and so the energy was just amazing, off the charts.
Yeah.
The sexual power that was going on then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I know. I'm getting a little turned on right now.
And so then I wanted to point out a couple other things. So one of our playmates was there that I mentioned that. So I wanted just to point that out, that I was saying something about him. He was the one that pointed out that we better go get space on the bed. So he was one of our playmates, and he had asked that if he showed up, he wasn't even sure that he was going, but he was going to be with somebody else. And so to be respectful of the fact that he was with somebody else and was not my play date on that particular evening. And I was totally fine with that. But then I was the one, so I'm pretending like not to know him. And it's kind of like, la, 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 so I don't know who you are. And so he comes up to me and goes, there's room in that bed, or go get that room before you get. I'm like, I was trying to be so, not giving any clues away. And he
smooth
said,
and clandestine.
I was very smooth. As always.
And clandestine.
And clandestine, yes. And so that's why I said that. I was like, and he said he didn't want us to talk to him, and then, which I did not, I didn't like, but I understood and I was respectful of it. But then he said something, he broke his own rule and said something to me. So I was confused about that. But anyways, so that's who that was. That was one of our playmates at the time. So
I forget the episode, but maybe 26. I'm not certain.
Yeah. So has he been in a couple of episodes?
I think so.
Yeah, he was an amazing playmate for quite some time until things kind of died down for me. So anyways, okay. Now
you're getting distracted.
I know I am. I'm going to start thinking about those play dates instead. Let's talk back at this one, which is still, I think it's still probably the biggest number of gentlemen that I've had in one setting at one time, like at one party, not like a weekend or something like that. So this was like
in one 3-hour period.
Yeah, in 1 3-hour period.
So like me and 5 other guys.
Which it still feels like it was 20.
I'm pretty sure that it was only 5 other guys.
And we say in the thing, and I'm like, well, the numbers don't matter because it's just for you and your total. So I want people to understand, like, Tristan loves to he's a nerd, and he has pie charts and graphs and outlines, and which I greatly appreciate. Spreadsheets. So he tracks all of those things, and I laugh and roll my eyes and go, yeah, that number's just for you. That's what I was saying.
That's all that means. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like that number's for you to keep track of, because I don't really care how many men I fuck. It's not about that for me. But Tristan's a data guy, so he likes to track that kind of stuff. And it is kind of fun to be able to go back and go, well, how many people was that? And when you live a very, very, very vanilla life, it's pretty cool to be able to go back and look and say, wow, we aren't so vanilla anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so I wanted to point that out too. Then all these things that came up during this episode, it was really cool. So the greedy girl parties, and we mentioned this at the very beginning, are where there are a lot more men, mostly single guys, that come in addition to the couples. And a lot of times those gentlemen are men of color. And in this particular party, it was a very good mix of folks. And so I mentioned a couple times about, especially the one gentleman, the very last gentleman that I had sex with, who I really liked, in case you guys hadn't figured that out. He was
actually third to last.
Okay,
second to last was the host.
That's right. I'm sorry. The last of the people that I didn't know, because I did know the host.
Yeah, you did know the host.
So I did know him. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. So the third to last.
Again, the data guy here.
Thank you for
Which is
keeping
funny because
me
I'm totally
straight.
a word guy. The numbers befuddle me.
I know, but you love them. You love what pretty charts and graphs and things numbers can make.
I love simple numbers.
Yes, like 5 men my wife tonight. Yeah, that's a simple number.
Those are the numbers that I can relate to.
So anyway, so we talk about that often, and I wanted to bring that up. And in this particular audio, we talk a lot about how big some of the guys' dicks were, and I just wanted to point out that is not has never ever been something that is a bar that you have to meet. For me, there are some women that is, they put it in their profiles. They are looking for, they know exactly what they want and they know what satisfies them. That's amazing and wonderful. And yay, you guys. That is not necessarily something for me. And honestly, I have had amazing experiences with men who are all along the spectrum of penis size. So I personally have no preconceived notions about it. And this was still relatively new for us, and so that was there was a lot of first times of seeing a lot of big dicks, and probably wasn't as used to it as much. So that's probably why I talked about it as much as I did.
No, it's true, and because it does come up in a lot of our episodes where you'll mention, "Wow, this guy's got a really huge dick." If you're not in the lifestyle, and this was relatively new for us, you don't see that a lot, right? And so that's why it's like, wow, holy shit. And so when I say something, in there about, me being small, I am like dead center of the bell curve. I'm as average as an average guy can get. No, in terms of size. In terms of size. Yes. Now, the skills are a different matter. I'm in like a couple.
You're in the top 2%, babe. Of
Percentiles,
skills,
yes,
for sure.
Exactly. So, and I've kind of always had a theory about this, and guys, I mean, all of our lives, we're just obsessed with penis size, and men way more so than women are, and so, but I think that in the lifestyle, a lot of times you do see that the single guys are very well endowed. My guess is that it's kind of a self-selecting thing. And those are the guys who are confident enough to put themselves out there as single guys and to be able to go to a party like this as a single guy. And as you say, a lot of women are looking for it. Most aren't. Right. Most just want somebody who can get hard and f them, which is a way more important skill to have than having a big in the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But I think that a lot of men are, kind of see it as a barrier to entry, which it should not be. Just, it's okay. Be happy with what you have and work with what you have.
Yes.
But I know that like a lot of guys really, especially, newer folks that I talk to, newer guys are really worried about it. Don't be worried about it. Just focus on pleasing a woman and
absolutely.
And you'll be golden.
Absolutely. Yeah. We used to actually joke about this in the beginning of our lifestyle journey because you are very skilled in oral areas and finger areas. Tristan's incredibly skilled. If you ever kiss him, you know what I'm talking about. But you worked hard to also, because you only knew me for a very long time. And so you had to, you poor baby, had to work so hard to learn all these other women so that you could please a multitude of women and learn how to read bodies and how to, every woman is different, just like every man. Ladies, if you haven't had this experience yet, every guy is different. Just because you put your mouth on his dick doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get hard. Some like it softer, harder, rubber, pulling, stroking, all the other things. And women are the same way. Yeah. And you've done an amazing job. So I think the moral of the story there is if you feel like you might be deficient in one area, which you're not, but if you feel like you might be, then look to be amazing in other areas. Tristan drags them in with his kisses. That's how he hooks them. By the time he's done kissing them, they don't care. So, I mean, but you're a great kisser.
At least the ones with whom I have a compatible kissing style.
That's true.
There are women that I've kissed and I was like, and we don't match.
Yeah.
But when we match, it's magic. And so, and same for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just wanted to point that out too. Yeah. So. And then, I also found it really interesting in listening to this about how much we talked about the guys would go to me and they would get soft and it would be like, oh, I got soft. Oh, well, okay. And then say, okay, well, the next person steps up and then the guy gets hard and then they end up f***ing again. And I hadn't heard that in a long time about how they were all so comfortable with the fact like, shit, I lost my heart on and maybe I'll get it back and maybe I won't, but it wasn't a thing. And clearly in us talking about it, it wasn't a thing. It was just like, okay, what can I do to help you? I remember I would suck a dick. If he went soft, I might try and suck him. And I think that's another moral of the story too. I think people, guys get worked up about going soft. And it happens. Yeah, well, I don't know. You talk about more about that, but I can talk about from the woman's perspective. What I try to do is not ever make it feel like it's a big deal and say, hey, what can I do to help? Right. But sometimes that can be distracting as well. But these guys were just like,
just part of the game.
Just part of the game. I need about a 15-minute breather or something. Yeah, I don't know. Is that true? Is that
now with Trimix for me? I'm probably not the best to ask because it's a bionic for 3 to 4 hours, but.
Episode on Trimix for men coming up in the next couple of months, by the way. Actually, probably November, but because
when
we're going to talk to our doctor. Yeah. But anyways.
And that mindset is absolutely the correct and perfect mindset, which is, all right, so I'll be fine in a little bit, and it's okay. Because if you start to spiral into the negativity of holy shit, now it's, my night's ruined. Well, then it is ruined. Right. And so just, be cool. It's all right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Because there's again a little bit different. Because
if she was interested in you to start with, and it didn't work, she'll still be interested in you. Mm-hmm. Just come back around, and
And if I still got energy,
if you still have energy,
And I think
And if you're still hydrated.
of course, this is a little bit right. Of course, it's a little bit different when it's not. I mean, it would be different if it's couple to couple, like if you're just 4 people or something like that. That can be a little bit different too, but
Yes.
it can also still be easy. Just, I'm going to tell you, we know, the ladies know that this is a possibility, and most of us understand that it's not us. That there's a lot of other
never-
things that are going on. And so, anyways,
it's
I
never
just
the
wanted to
ladies,
point that
yeah.
out because I thought that was interesting that it was just such a non-thing. They just got soft, so they would take a break and come back. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Hearing it now, because we didn't know any differently back then,
Right.
as much. So what else? What else about this episode?
So this wasn't our first foray into group play, but it was relatively new in our group play experience. And at the
It was the
time,
largest.
it certainly was the largest at the time. And I think we reference in there that, and again, back to the erection thing, I had difficulty at first, but then kind of once I got going, I really enjoyed it. And I think the same for you. It can be very overwhelming when there's so much frenetic activity going on. And, we saw this past weekend at Splash, 3 weekends ago at Naughty in New Orleans, when there's so much going on, there's so much sensory input, and there's so much really hot sensory input, you can just get really distracted and get, into your head rather than into your body. And back in those days, we really didn't know any differently because we hadn't had a whole lot of experience with it. But I think we both had the experience at that party of once we kind of settled in and kind of found our groove, we realized this is really hot. And then we kind of got into our bodies and really started to have fun with it. And rather than be freaked out by it, we were having fun with it. And now with years of perspective, it's just incredibly fun. It still can be overwhelming and distracting, but overarching, it's just incredibly fun.
I think, to your point, clearly when I was talking about it in the raw audio, and we'll talk a little bit more about it now, even conflicted about enjoying myself, conflicted about just being there to be the person that's there to get fucked. Because that really kind of wasn't what I was. I was hoping to have a couple connections. I didn't expect it to be the way that it was. And I think that it's very different to have that type of experience versus smaller group stuff. And it was challenging. It was really challenging. But what I was going to say was, when you talk about getting into your body, obviously I was able to settle in and settle down. And I think meeting the buddy that I met who I'd been chatting with in the kitchen, who I was connected to and excited by, I think that changed the whole thing for me. If we had gone upstairs and we hadn't seen anybody, I don't know that I would have had the courage to walk into the room, take off my clothes, and throw myself down on a bed where I just knew that strangers were that's the signal that it's okay. I mean, I was doing it on purpose to strangers to come in and have sex with me. So that was the tough part for me, because it's just not my style. Right. I'm not an anonymous sex person. We on our very first, after our very first horrible play date gone badly, we said, we both said, we talked about maybe we can't do this because we're too feely.
Right.
We're going to have emotions. And so we decided to move forward anyways, obviously, but that's why I'm so conflicted by this. And I still am. I still really am. Like, right now in my life, that is not a party that sounds interesting to me for the past little bit. Although I'm feeling like it's shifting for me again. This is why the podcast is firing back up a little bit. Things are shifting and I'm feeling a little bit better and more sexy and things like that. But still, we've only been, how many of these types of parties have you and I been to?
To get us together, I think 3.
Yeah, I was saying maybe 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, all with the same host and hostess.
And then we also went to some house parties that were big, that were maybe not necessarily
not
labeled
like
this, but that were very much that style.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, 3. So probably 6 or 7 total that you and I have been together.
That had, for lack of a better term, although we've had a discussion about this, a gangbang kind of a atmosphere or an orgy atmosphere. We've talked about, we always talk about like what's the difference between a gangbang and an orgy, and we'll leave that for another. We'll leave that for another episode. But but that's what, in my mind, that's what it felt like, and that's the best way for me to equate it to something now. So I do struggle with that. Although we were talking to somebody about one of our events that's coming up, and they were talking about like, well, do you think all the guys would like to get together and be with this one particular lady? And I was like, oh, yes, they would. And then I was like, oh, that does kind of sound like fun. And like, I wonder if we could pull something like that off. And I wonder if I would enjoy that if it were this group of folks that we know each other, it's intimate, and like, so I'm looking, like, to me, that sounds like that would be something that would be more interesting. Like, we're going to be at a place with a bunch of people that we've spent a bunch of time with. And would that be different? So I'm marinating on that one for our upcoming events.
Okay. To be continued then.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. Because it's definitely not me. But gosh, listening to how much, and it was so fun. It really was. It was hot. It was really hot. And you talked about the fact that I was so engorged. I remember, I mean, I don't even know that I can physically make that much female ejaculate come now.
You can.
Probably. But it was a lot. It was a lot. And, but it was amazing. It was really, really hot. It was one of those times where it ended up being like, and I was okay with it. So it wasn't odd, but it was where you were either me or at my feet, and I was able to have a dick in my mouth and a dick in each hand and a dick in my pussy, and you were one of the four almost at all times, or just watching, which you love.
I love, absolutely love.
And so, yeah, but if you weren't one of the four, then I probably wasn't doing that whole thing. But
actually, there were some times where
really?
I was just, that was going on.
Lucky you.
God,
lucky, see, I don't.
And lucky you.
Yeah, it was lucky me. I really did. And so that, because it was very natural, it was very organic. I think that's the other thing. Like, if we had said, okay, we're going to go in and you're going to lay down on this bed and all these guys are going to come up and fuck you and you're going to suck their dicks and jack them off and stuff, I would have been like, no, it doesn't sound like me. That's not my jam.
Well, that's also not our dynamic. I don't direct.
True.
I'm an observer and a participant. I am certainly,
direct.
Exactly. Yeah, that's our dynamic.
What I'm doing. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So,
which is not universal, and certainly not at these parties. That's not universal. There are others who direct exactly what.
Well, as a matter of fact, we talk about it. The reason we stopped, because that couple came in, and I even mentioned something about that too, about how I wanted her to stand up for herself. Very new, obviously, in this. And now looking back, even though I even called it out then, called her his submissive, clearly they were having a scene. They were doing something. Now that I can think about it later, that was what they had.
With some perspective.
The dynamic that they had said that this was going to happen. And so I didn't know how those things worked as much back then. And so so that was odd for me, and that threw me off, that energy, because he did come in and say here, and he orchestrated, and they had that agreement that this was what was going to happen, and she was going to be with whoever or whatever they decided. And so, but because it changed it from everybody just kind of being able to kind of flow into where the activity was or whatever, because he began orchestrating, and then it became like, then they were all getting in line and he's directing and things like that. And so
not my jam. Even to this day, I don't find that appealing either.
I don't find it appealing to watch it. We
don't judge, but it's not our jam.
No, not at all. I think we were a little judgy then.
Well, back then,
we didn't know any better. And listen to me saying I wanted her to stick up for herself, but I'm sorry, I didn't really know that that's probably not what she wanted. She probably wanted what she was getting, and she was good. She probably ended up being a very happy girl, but I just didn't know what that was like. But so yay for them. But yeah, it's still not necessarily my thing. So we'll see. I don't know. We've had some other opportunities, and we've had some other parties, and they have been fun. And then we've had some that weren't as great, and I didn't feel as fun. So. You just never know.
Yeah. I tend to have fun wherever, whenever. So.
Yep. Well. So, anyways, that was that story. Our very first ginormous house party that was slightly greedy girly.
Yeah, I to this day, I mean, that was one of my favorite experiences that we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and we have not quite replicated that yet.
No.
Yeah, and we may never.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever will because of the
newness.
Right.
Well, the newness and the organic nature of it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We may never, we cannot recreate our feelings that we had at that time.
Right.
Especially, that like the sharp 180 from we're getting the fuck out of here to, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. So the moral of this story is, if you listen to any of our earlier episodes, go upstairs. But as that,
just try.
Myrina can't be trusted.
And Myrina can't be trusted.
Also, the other thing too that you said somewhere in there about something, and I said, "Oh, was it about orgasm?" And you said your body lies. Then I said, what did I say?
Your body is saying yes, and your brain's saying, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was
something to that effect.
Yes.
That still happens.
It does still happen. Yes. Yeah. I always say my pussy lies. She lies. I'll be like, "Oh, I'm not interested in that." Well, why are you sopping wet?
No, your pussy's got it right.
Well, no, she lies. She doesn't check in with the head. She doesn't check in with the brain. The brain has say too,
Sometimes the brain is subordinate to the pussy.
Well, sometimes.
Mine certainly is.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing too, and about that is, I clearly had more, I don't want to say fun, but more connection with the men that I had connection with. And so to me, that really was, I think if we hadn't run into the guy, like I said, if we hadn't run into the guy that I'd met in the kitchen and that I was turned on by, and we hadn't started kissing, and if I hadn't gone down on him, I don't think this would have turned out this way, because it certainly got my juices up and running. Right. And then having a few other partners, and then the third to the last guy who made a lot of connection with me and like didn't break my gaze. I love that. And then the second to the last guy was also very connected. And then you. So I had like these, I ended on a really great positive note, because I had these connections with the last three men, your last experience. So that was kind of what you leave on that high.
Yeah. And I was specifically going to talk about the second to last guy, because you mentioned here, he's totally not my type. And he really isn't, but you have a great connection with him.
And we do. Every time we see each other.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you've played with him actually at each party that you've been to with him multiple times. He keeps coming back around to you.
Yeah.
And you had great sex with him.
Yeah. We sometimes will play together like three times in one night at a party, split up, and we end up finding our way. Yeah, like you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was specifically going to talk about him because you do have a connection with him. And that moment that you talked about that we talked about where you were fucking him and I was lying on the bed watching, and then his wife came up, and we were, and I, I didn't play with the wife that night. I have other times, but we were just watching our spouses enjoying each other, and so we had a nice moment there, just kind of, because it was the end of the night, we were both tired, and watching our spouses play was a lot of fun, and so that was a really nice moment, and so there was your connection piece,
right? Absolutely.
And then us finishing together, there was further connection piece.
Right.
So you were able to kind of sew it all up. You started the evening with connection that didn't quite come to fruition, and then a lot of anonymous fun in between, and then finishing with connection.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about this before, just talking this out right now, but I think that probably
made it okay for you.
Made it fun.
Yeah.
Made it really enjoyable and really hot, and some great sex.
Yeah, you had some great sex.
Yeah, that was really good. So, yeah. And I'm blessed with a husband who likes to watch.
No, I don't like to watch. I love to watch.
So, yeah. So that worked out well.
Yeah. For both of us.
Yeah.
We talked about how we enjoyed that experience. We both enjoyed that experience. You have some hesitancy about that experience. We've had similar experiences since with similar hesitancy. Mm-hmm. And so, we'll see.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's your jam, sometimes it's not. It tends to always be my jam, but we, so it's a work in progress. The entire lifestyle, as with life, it's all a work in progress.
Right.
And we're continually evolving, changing. And so we'll see. We'll see where we wind up with this piece of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Things kind of come back and go. They come and they go. We have been invited to a few similar parties like this, and they just have not been on my radar right now. So we'll see. But talking about this makes it kind of fun again. And but we have been talking about it for a while, because these other parties invitations have come up, and it's like, we'll see. When the time is right, I'll know. I'll know when I'm more in that space to be able to.
And you need to be in the right space.
Yeah,
and
you really do.
I mean,
yeah, for my own self.
Yeah, you can't just roll in.
No, not for me. Not for me. Everybody's different. But for me, I have to be in the right mindset, because it'll be, I won't get out of my head. I got too much stuff going on. And if I'm in my head, I'm one of the ladies downstairs chatting or watching Netflix or something. And I don't want to be at a party like that. I want to be like ready.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyways, but it was really, really hot. It was really fun. And we'll have other experiences. We have had other experiences. We'll have more for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Speaking of which, because we have been, so with the podcast, we kind of had to pause a little bit on these story episodes. And if you've listened, you can go back and watch some of the YouTube stuff where we started talking about why. And that's for me struggling a lot with my age and my body and menopause and hormones and all that crap. So we're not going to bore you with those details, but it has led to some of the podcast stuff going by the wayside because it's challenging for me, and it makes me feel sad that I was so into this at this point in time. And then for the last year and a half or so, it's been really challenging for me. I'm feeling better, and we have continued on and continue to move forward in small places and spaces and steps and parties and events and things. And we just don't talk about them as much. We did start talking about some of the trips that we have been on recently, more so that we could help folks who are wanting to go to these events. Like we always talk about Naughty. We always go to Naughty and do a recap about it because there's almost always something that's fun and different that happens at Naughty, or the friends that we meet, or there's almost always some kind of a cool experience that happens. And or the fact that I think a couple of years ago it was really rough because we had a rough time and rough experiences, and because you just never know. But anyways, so if you have been getting or hearing from us, it has mostly been kind of recapping of events and things like that.
Right.
Because we are traveling a lot. So the moral of the story is we're traveling a lot. We're not completely out of the lifestyle. I think I forgot to tell you this. I don't know, maybe it was like 5 or 6 months ago, somebody messaged me on Instagram and said, "Oh, so sorry that you're not together anymore." And I was like, but the picture before this one is me and Tristan in the picture, and all the pictures are of all four of us. And so they thought we weren't together anymore. Maybe they thought we weren't podcasting anymore, but the episodes are still coming out. But anyways, so we are still together. We're still here. We're still married. We're still doing the episode, and we're still having sex with other people.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So if you would like to join us.
Ooh, that's a beautiful segue.
I know, right? Because remember, I'm just saying, I'm trying to open myself up back to these new experiences again. So we're going to a bunch of events this year.
Wait to tee that up, babe.
I know,
It's
right?
not even on the outline.
No, sometimes I wing it.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I do.
No, 99.8% of the time you wing it.
True.
Yeah.
Thanks for having a guideline for me. But yes, so we just got back from Naughty in New Orleans. That recap will be coming out soon. That was a huge trip with so much that happened. There was a lot of fun. There was a lot of food. There was a lot of sexy time. And we will tell you all about that in that recap for sure. That recap took us so long, or I think we even had to break it up into parts to even edit it. And then it'll put back together. It'll probably end up being 2 parts. So there was a lot that happened. It was a lot of fun. But we went to Naughty. Oh, and we just got back from Splash.
Yesterday.
Couples Escape. Yes.
Escapade.
One of them is Escapade and one is Couples Escape. It depends which one's Fort Lauderdale.
Couples Escape is Fort Lauderdale.
And this is
Escapade.
Okay.
Is Houston. Yeah.
So
we just got back from Houston yesterday.
We just got back from Houston, and that was an amazing event.
Yes.
Also, we're going to do the recap of that. That'll be out in a month or so. If you haven't and you're interested about any of these Splash Takeover events, the one in Fort Lauderdale is coming up. That we did a review on that one the very first time we went. So we decided that this year our goal was to go to new events and be able to. We were going to the events anyways, but that would give us stuff to talk about and share the information.
Right, and help others to understand how awesome these things are.
Right, and how to prepare for them, or how, if they're not awesome, then maybe not go. But we've been really lucky, and we tend to go to really great events. And so we pick the events that we go to quite carefully. And so because we really want to have a good time, and we want to make sure our money is spent in places that we know will have a good time. So Splash, we can say hands down.
Oh, absolutely.
They are 3 a year. The Eroticon is going to be in Atlanta next year. That's the name of the 3rd event. We have not been to that event. That's a brand new event for them. So next year will be their first year doing that. But we've been to all their other their 3 events, and they are just amazing events. So much fun. So much sexy fun.
Yeah.
Great people at all of their events. So if you, again, want to join us, Fort Lauderdale is an amazing venue, lots of playroom space, lots of dance floor, lots of folks at that one. It's a great size. It's not too big, but it's not too small. And so that's the next one that's coming up.
Middle of the bell curve, baby.
Yeah. If you want to go to that one, check out our events page on our website, and there is a link to that event. And if you purchase your tickets through that link, that gives us a little bit of affiliate income. So we will say thank you very much, and we love you if you do that. But that is an amazing event. So that one or their next one will be Eroticon in Atlanta in 2026. So there's nothing between now and that's in like August.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So I think that the Houston one may have been moved
I think
up.
they did flip-flop it. Yeah, I think that, we'll have to double-check the calendar on that. So anyways, check for those. All of the Splash events will be for sale. There'll be ways to buy tickets on our website because we love them and we're going to go to them. And so we will do affiliate relationships with companies and events that we know, trust, and love. And so if you look at something on our website and you see that we're going or that we endorse it, we may not be able to go, but if we endorse it, it's usually something that we've been to and we love it and we recommend it.
Yes.
So Splash, hands down, any of those events,
Love them.
amazing, worth it. Watch the videos to figure out how to do food. I think we talk about more about that next time for sure if we don't on the last one. But so Splash is coming up soon, and then we've got our hosted weekend
At Caliente.
At the end of September. So the final weekend of September, we'll be back at Caliente, and we are doing an amazing. We have so much fun planned for Caliente.
Yeah.
Like it's
cannot
usually
wait.
not much that goes on, but we're starting to pack some stuff in there. So
Yeah, we are packing the schedule.
yeah. So if you want to go to that is also on our website, but it just is a link to Caliente. We actually don't get any affiliate income from them. But if you want to help us out, if you decide to come to that event, when you call to make your reservations, if you're going to stay on property, please tell them that you're coming for the Accidental Swingers weekend. It's a weekend with Accidental Swingers and the Facebook unofficial Caliente fan page. Our dear friends Kimberly and Steve run that. And of course, Crimson and Phoenix will be there. And actually, there will be a ton of our friends at this one in September. So if you want to come and meet us and meet a bunch of our friends, because we will introduce you to everybody that we know, coming to that event too. So you can either do Splash the weekend before Fort Lauderdale or Caliente the weekend after in Tampa.
I'm going to say and.
Oh, bookend.
Make a 2-week trip to Florida at the end of September.
And then we'll tell you what to do in between. Which places to go in between. That's a brilliant idea, babe. We'll hook you up.
That's not that's not in the outline either. That was
No, that's a brilliant idea.
completely
though.
organic.
Yeah. At Caliente, we are going to do, like I said, we have a couple different events. We have a ladies' night as the ladies in red is
Yeah,
the
that's
theme
Thursday
for
the
that.
25th, I believe.
Thursday, yep. And
Friday night we're doing our speed dating, which we are getting better.
Couples
speed dating, which we're getting better at.
And that is anybody who lives at Caliente or is staying at Caliente or is a member at Caliente is invited to come and participate in our couples speed dating. We had such a blast last time that one of the residents that lives there, she's like, why wasn't this in the residents newsletter? And so they're going to put that in the residents newsletter. So if you're a resident and you want to come join us, please do, because it was a lot of fun.
We
Great
had
way
so
to
much
meet
fun
just
the
so
last-
many people. Yeah.
The last couple of times we've done it have been amazing, but the last time that we're just getting better at it every time. Speed dating is not easy to pull off.
It's tough.
It's tough. But it was incredible. It
Yeah.
was so much fun.
We met so many amazing people.
And we met people at speed dating that we then met at Naughty New Orleans.
I was just going to say, yes, two couples.
Yeah,
I think.
that's right, yeah.
Yes, two couples
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
met at Caliente at speed dating. Yeah, that we saw them again in New Orleans. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, so that's coming up in September, and then of course our biggest event of the year is Swingcation, which is our event that we're hosting at Hedonism in Jamaica. So it's our swinky life, our swingers and kinksters coming together. We bring in education and programming for swingers, for kinksters, and for everybody in between. And it's all about learning and finding out what other people love to see if it might be something that interests you on the kink side, or for the kinksters that want to learn about open relationships and how do we maneuver those dynamics and the communication and the things that you have to do for that. So it's an amazing week. It's a week at Hedo. There are a very few spots left. The resort, I think we only had
We booked,
4 or
so
5?
we sold our
Our block
of
gone.
rooms is sold out, but there are still a handful of rooms left at the resort that you can still get into.
Right, but
and still be part of our event.
You have to book through us, through Swingcation, if you want to participate in the event. It is a little bit more costly than just going to Hito, but that's because we bring in the educators. We actually set up a tent down at the beach to be able to have nighttime beach playtime that you can't participate with us if you're not at Swingcation with us. And so even if we know you and you happen to be there, I'm sorry, you won't be able to play at our tent with us unless you're with Swingcation. And so we do some extra things above and beyond, and there's quite a bit actually, and we really have an amazing group and an amazing time. We talked about it last time that we showed up as strangers and we really did leave as family.
Yeah,
it's not bullshit. It really is not bullshit. We really, really did. So that is in October. If you're interested at all in going to that, also check out our website, or you can go to swingcation.com and fill out the information there. If you put in the chat or you send a message about anything, Lee will answer you almost instantly. So if you have questions or you're wanting to go but you're not really sure, but you want to have him hold a room, just reach out to him and he'll let you know if that's even a possibility. So it just kind of depends. Like we could say something right now and 5 days from now it could be totally different. So we will be doing Swingcation again in 2026. We do not have the dates for that yet. If you can't make it this year, put it on the calendar for next year. It should be in October.
As I've said before, we are a lot of fun regardless of where we are, but we are particularly fun in Jamaica.
We really are, yeah. It's a whole...
Do whatever you can to come party with us in Jamaica.
It's a whole different world in Jamaica, man.
Yeah.
It really is. Everybody's on island time and island vibe, and it is... and sexy island vibe. And no pressure, sexy island vibe. It's just awesome. It is. It's tropical paradise. Sexy fun.
Yeah, meets naked, meets sex, meets kink, meets everything. Yeah,
I think we are the great tagline.
We are the best Venn diagram I can think of as I describe it that way. Yeah.
We're one. It's just all. It's one big circle now. But on our tagline that we came up for Swingcation is getting a PhD in pleasure, and that's truly what it is. I mean, we're going to talk a lot about how to really up your game in a lot of different ways and really learn a lot. So. It's going to be really cool. Yeah. Anyways, we're excited. Can you tell we're excited just a little bit? And then, of course, if there's other stuff, we are doing some other events. We're going to be at the Exoticas that are traveling around for the end of the year. And then we'll be at any of the other little local events and things that come up. We do those things as well. So we always try and put that on our website, on our events page, keep that updated. And then also just tune into our Instagram. I think that's the best place to kind of keep up with what we're doing or see where we're going, what we're up to. And of course, you can always just reach out and say, hey, are you guys going to be here, going to be doing this or whatever? Stay tuned to Instagram because I will be traveling at the end of the month into September. And sometimes I put them, say, hey, I'm here. You guys have any suggestions or thoughts about where I should go? And I need your help. So be paying attention to our Instagram so that you guys can tell me where I should go when I'm traveling in different parts of the country where I've never been and don't know about the lifestyle life. So it'd be fun to check that out. Yeah. So, but anyways, that's it for us.
I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do they find us?
Where do they find you?
Yeah, well, they find me
kissing all the women. Well, at any
event where I show up. And
Tristan if I get makes consent, about 10 feet in the door and then starts kissing everybody. I just keep on going. I'm just like, he'll find me later.
Yeah, I'll catch up later. Yeah. On Instagram, I'm at Myrina's Tristan, and I can be reached at my email, which is tristan@accidentalswingers.com.
Yep, and then our regular Instagram is just at Accidental Swingers. We're also Myrina Tristan on X, which I do try and kind of post everything there as well. And then you can also find us on Facebook at Accidental Swingers. We also post as Myrina Tristan on Facebook. When you see anything from Myrina Tristan, that's us.
That's you, because I don't know how to get into Facebook.
I'm going to teach you so it can be you and not me, because I get sucked into Facebook, and that's why we're not on there very much, because it's a death trap, man. It's a time suck.
Evidently, I've just been subcontracted the Facebook duties.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it actually happens. But anyways, well, thank you so much for hanging out with us and listening to our stories. We're excited to get back to them. We've got a couple more hot, juicy ones that are coming up soon.
Yes.
Then we'll have our recap about Naughty. We're going to, in between that, we'll also have the conversation we had at Splash about Splash Houston, and then all sorts of other things that are coming up. We'll be talking about those too.
I can't wait. It only gets better, everybody.
That's Tristan's tagline.
It's not just a tagline. That is the way that I live my life.
Mine is I can't be trusted.
And that's the way that you live your life.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, those are our mottos, I guess.
Yeah, they are our mottos.
All right. Well, there we go. Well, glad we did this.
immortalized thanks to our Naughty New Orleans friends.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you.
Naughty.
You know who you are.
Who you are. We have our koozies. We'll show you guys next time. But anyways, so thanks so much for listening. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.